Okay, today I'm going to go ahead and service this Toro Dingo TX1000. This is a wide track, same process for the narrow track. So the first thing I'm going to do is drain the oil. So come underneath your stand platform, a little hole right there. So I took that plug out, it's an Allen head plug, and that's your engine oil drain. So open that up and it's going to slowly leach out. It takes a little bit to finish. Once the oil is done, I'm going to take my new oil filter, which is here, and we'll fill it up with oil and let it drain in. And I'm going to remove the old oil filter, which sits off your engine. This white one right here, that's your oil filter, so it sits off your engine. So take that one off, and then install your new one after the oil has drained into your new one. And I take oil and wipe it around the black seal on top before I install it. So your oil filter's on, and I put the drain plug back in because it's done draining. And to fill your oil, that right there, this cap is your oil fill. So take that off. I'll make sure I clean all around it, and I'll even take and crack it open after it's clean and take an air compressor and blow out so no dirt gets in there. So this machine, this engine takes roughly 1.5 gallons of 10W30 diesel engine oil. So I'm going to fill it up there and then check. There's your dipstick right there. You check and see what your level is. So oil will be done, and then air filter is pretty easy. So for yeah, all the boxes are over there.
Thank you.
No problem. So then your air filter, this one's pretty plugged, so I'm going to pull that one out, install my new air filter in there. Just make sure you don't push out the back. Over here, it only uses one air filter, and when you put your cap back on, make sure this valve right here is pointed in the downward position so no water gets in your engine accidentally. So now we're done with air and oil, and there's your hydraulic right there. This is your hydraulic filter. We'll replace that too, so take that off and install your new oil filter. I'm sorry, hydraulic filter. I don't fill my hydraulic filter up with oil, but I do take oil and wipe it on the top black seal before I install it. Just tighten that down and check your hydraulic fluid. That's fine. Check your hydraulic fluid, and to add your hydraulic fluid, if you look down here, you see this, everything's in the way. But come on, man. See that cap right there? Easier if you see it, but there's a cap right there. Take that cap off, and there's a dipstick in there with a bunch of black X's on it. So if your hydraulic fluid is anywhere on those black edges or black X's, then you're good. If you have to add hydraulic fluid, go ahead and take the dipstick out, and this port is where you add your hydraulic fluid to get to the proper level. So we're done with hydraulic fluid, oil, air. So then we're going to come back to fuel. I pop this hood up right here. I got a little strap. Makes life easier. And there's your oil filter right here. Your fuel filter. So the new one I fill up with diesel before I install it. And of course wipe diesel around the gasket before you install it. So tighten that one up. And that's your backup right there. Your other filter in line. And see, it has got an arrow on it. That arrow needs to go in the direction of the fuel is flowing. So in this case, fuel is coming out of your gas tank here, up this line, up, and then into that fuel filter. So that arrow needs to be pointed in that direction. Don't worry about the writing. For some reason they put the writing on upside down. It's all about the arrow. The arrow is the most important thing. So now fuel's done. As far as coolant goes, you want to take that top off right there and fill it with coolant 50-50. 50% coolant, 50% water, till it gets to the top of that right there. And here for your overflow, you want to put coolant into this line right there. Get coolant up into that line, and you're done with your adding coolant. Then you want to check your radiator to make sure it's not plugged. This is how your engine cools itself, so this is extremely important. This one's fairly clean. There's a bunch of debris and stuff in here, so I'm actually going to take this outside screen off and just clean off the debris because I'm a nice guy. but this radiator is in very good condition. And we're going to go back to grease. There's 15 grease points on this machine. Let's see if I can remember where they all are. That's the hard part. There's one, if you drop this screen down here, there's two that hide in here. One there, one there. I think you got 3 on your arms. So you got one there. You have one there. And there's 2 more on the arms. There might be one up here on this cylinder. I'm gonna have to drop this cylinder, and either in there or in there is going to be a grease point. So it's just the grease point right now, since the arms are up, are just pointing in a weird direction, so I can't get to the grease there. And then you got the ones directly on the other side as well, and then you have one up there. You got 2 on your turns, boom, boom, and you're gonna have one on this side of your cylinder on this pin, right there, and then on the other way top on the cylinder is gonna be another grease point. And then just track maintenance, check your tension of your track. Just come down here and look down here through this little hole. You see that green sticker? This little nub right here needs to be just inside anywhere on that green sticker. If it's too far this way, then you're gonna have to tighten your track to get the track up off the ground. Pull this nut and bolt out right there and start cranking down on that that big bolt to make the level go that way. For installing and taking off your tracks and tightening your tracks, I have another video that you probably want to look up where I go into depth about doing that kind of stuff. And I think that's going to be it for this service. And I misspoke. I said there was 15 grease points originally. There's actually 20 grease points on this machine. Let's see if I can remember exactly where all they are. So you have the 2 that sit. You have to lift the arms back up, but they sit. Once you lift the arms back up, you'll see it on the inside. So there's one here, and then one on the other side. And then you got 1. There's another one in here. 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 1 at the bottom here. 6. And then there's 6 on the other side, the direct opposite. Then you have this pin on the quick attach plate. 1 on the exact other side of the quick attach plate. This one here. This one up here, and then 2 of your turnies right here.